Hello everybody, my name is Vaughn from Student Express, and today we are going to be going over how to install Unreal Engine 5, and we are going to be navigating the UI as well. So in order to install Unreal Engine, you're going to want to install the Epic Games launcher, and I will link the website to download that in the description. And I will see you all when you get to the Epic Games launcher. So you guys should be in the Epic Games launcher now, and you will see a Unreal Engine tab here, and when you click on it, you'll be sent to the news page. What you're going to want to do is you're going to head over to the library page, and you are going to want to click this plus button here. Now, I haven't installed Unreal Engine in a really long time, so I don't know if something's already pops up here. But if it does, you should install that one. That is the latest version of Unreal Engine. But if nothing pops up, you're going to want to press this plus button, and the latest version should then pop up. As you can see, my latest version did not pop up because I already have the latest version. It's going to do an earlier build of the engine. So after you do that, you're going to want to wait for it to install, and then you're going to click launch. So after you launch the game, you might be given a little bit of settings for your own customizability, and you won't have this recent projects unless you have made a project before, but you should be at this window, and you're gonna just want to click games, or that's what we're gonna be learning about in this course. And we have a bunch of templates here, and I would implore you guys to go check out those templates. They're very good, and you can kind of look at the code in them and figure out how things might work by yourselves. But in this, we're just going to go to a blank project, and we are going to be doing this all in Blueprint. Blueprint is a coding language, visual scripting language, and it's very easy to pick up. It's still hard. When I say easy, it's definitely easier than C++, especially if you are just way better at learning visually like I am. So down here we have the project name, and we're just gonna call this tutorial. So you guys can call this whatever you want to call it, but I'm just gonna call it tutorial because yeah. And you're gonna hit create. So you guys should be here unless they change it in the future, but you guys should be at this level. What we're gonna do is, because we want a nice clean slate, we are going to go to the file up here, and we are going to click new level, and we are going to go to the basic level. You're going to hit create, and you are going to press Control S, and you are going to save this level. You can call it whatever you want. You can just call it level. Why not? So this is your level, called level, and it's just a cube that's stretched out over a nice long horizon. So to move around in Unreal Engine, you want to hold right click, and you can just use WASD to move. You cannot move unless you are holding right click. So you have to be holding right click, and you can press, you can press E to move up and Q to move down. But you always have to be holding right click in order to move around. Unless you're holding middle mouse button, you can use middle mouse button to sort of pan around, and you just move your mouse. I'm not holding any keys here, you're just kind of panning around. So now we have all this UI here, and this is just like, this is all the stuff in your scene right here. We have the floor, and you don't have to click on this stuff in order to access it. See, I clicked out here, and now I'm on SM_sky sphere, If I click here, I'm interacting with the floor. And as you can see, this 3D cursor kind of popped up, and we can manipulate the floor by using the arrows. We move it on the X, Y, and Z axis, and we can press Control Z in order to return it back to normal. Over here we have some details, and these are details about the current thing that you have selected. If you click world settings, this is just the general world. It doesn't matter what you have selected. So we're gonna move back over to the details panel, and as we can see here, we can manipulate this object without having to move, go over here and move it with the 3D cursor. We can just do this, although I think it is better to move with 3D cursor, but if you're trying to get very precise, you can move it with these transforms. Down here we have the static mesh, and the static mesh is the model, and what static means is that it's not like animated, it's not moving around, it's a still object. And this material, we don't have any other materials here, but the material is this checkerboarded texture that you kind of see layered on top of the cube. So this is the cube, and this is the checkerboard texture on top of the cube. Now down here, we kind of don't really need to mess with any of this stuff yet. It's important, but it's unimportant for what we're trying to learn right now, especially with just for learning the UI. Up here we have some perspectives. We can go top perspective. It's just loading a bit, and as you can see here, it also put us in the wireframe mode. Now to get out of that, you click wireframe up here, and you can just go back to the lit mode, and you can just use right click to pan around again. But I think it's just easiest to go back into perspective mode. It's the nicest one to sort of move around. These different perspectives is if you're trying to really line up something or just get a new perspective on your map or whatever else that you are building in Unreal. So here again we have this transform. As you can see here, we have rotation and scale, but how do we get rotation and scale to appear like how it's appeared here? Well, we can click these buttons, but as you can see, when we hover over it, it says E is the hotkey for rotation. So we press E, we have a new 3D cursor, and we can manipulate the rotation of our static mesh. And over here, we have scale, which is R. And again, we can manipulate the scale of our static mesh. Control Z to undo again. So as you can see here, this button, it says it toggles whether an object snaps to another object. So let's say, for instance, you are trying to put a cube onto this floor. If you have this on, the cube is going to snap itself to the floor of this cube. And over here, we have grid snapping. So as you see here, it's 10. If we move this, you can see on the right here where the transform is, the Y is moving by 10 every single time we move it. So if you want to change this, we can change it to 1, 5, 10, 50, and so on. And if you don't even want this option on, you can just press the grid icon right here to turn it off. But I think having it on is a good way to not have to manually try to line up different objects in your scene. And same thing here, we have that for the rotation. We're rotating 10 degrees every single time in any direction. And we have the same thing for the scale here. We're scaling it by 0.25 in any direction. And the most important button, the button to spawn in other objects, unless you are trying to import some objects from different 3D softwares like Blender, you can press this button and we can go down to shapes and we can click cube. As you can see, a cube just spawned in and we can manipulate it because we have the cube selected. So let's bring it down to our floor, and we can press E to, you know, rotate, we can press R to scale, and we can press W to go back to just moving it on the different axes. And down here we have our content browser, but I kind of like to call it the content drawer. So we have this folder, which is the all folder, and it encompasses every single thing that you put into your project. So as you see here, we have the all folder and we have content, and the only content we have is our level. When you're adding models or something like that, you can right click and we can click new folder and we can name it models, and whatever models that you want, you just you can just import it into here, and it will go into this folder and it will be a part of your content browser. Alright, so I think that is some of the basics that you guys should know for Unreal Engine 5, especially with navigating the UI and installing the engine. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to Student Express, and I will see you all in the next video, which will be talking about the different variable types and getting into the visual coding aspect of Unreal Engine 5. See ya!